Victor Lustig, a name that echoes through the pages of criminal history, is infamous for one of the boldest scams ever pulled off. This is the true story of how he sold the Eiffel Tower not once, but twice, making him one of the smartest and most daring conmen the world has ever known. Victor Lustig's childhood was a tale of hardship and struggle. Born in Hostine in 1890, his family was very poor. They lived in a small, dark house, and there was never enough food to go around. Victor's parents worked hard, but their efforts barely kept the family afloat. When Victor was 8, his parents separated and he was sent to live with relatives. This new arrangement was supposed to be better, but Victor hated it. He felt like an outsider and was treated poorly. At 12, Victor decided he had had enough. He ran away from home, choosing the uncertainties of life on the streets over the unhappiness of his home. He roamed the streets of various European cities, doing whatever he could to survive. He begged for food and picked pockets, learning quickly that life was tough, but that he was tougher. A key moment came when he was 13 years old. Victor was scavenging for food in the trash bins outside a fancy hotel in Budapest. He saw a wealthy couple on a balcony, served by waiters who brought them plate after plate of delicious food. To Victor's shock, the couple left all the food untouched and went straight to their bedroom. Seeing so much food wasted while he was starving made Victor decide that if some people could waste so much, he would never feel bad about tricking the rich to get by. Victor's early crimes included small thefts and break-ins. By the time he was 18, he had become an expert at card tricks and sleight of hand, allowing him to cheat at poker and hustle people on the street. Despite being caught and jailed several times, he wasn't discouraged. Each time he was in jail, he learned more tricks and refined his methods, making him even better at his craft. In 1925, while reading a newspaper, Victor came up with his most daring scam. The paper talked about the high cost of maintaining the Eiffel Tower, and Victor saw an opportunity. He thought that if the French government ever wanted to get rid of these expenses, they might sell the tower to a private businessman willing to pay for its upkeep. Victor set his plan into motion. He had fake government documents made to look official and did a lot of research to understand the costs and issues related to the Eiffel Tower. He then arranged a meeting at one of Paris' best hotels, inviting several wealthy scrap metal dealers. Victor introduced himself as the Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs. He told the dealers that the government could no longer afford to maintain the Eiffel Tower and planned to sell it for scrap. Among the dealers was André Poisson, an insecure businessman who wanted to make a name for himself. Victor's charm and convincing presentation led Poisson to offer 70,000 francs for the Eiffel Tower. After sealing the deal, Victor took the money and fled to Austria, expecting the police to come after him quickly. But Poisson, too embarrassed to admit he had been tricked, never reported the crime, allowing Victor to escape safely. Encouraged by his success, Victor returned to Paris within a year to pull off the same scam again. This time, however, one of his targets grew suspicious and contacted the police. Realizing he was in danger, Victor fled the country before the authorities could catch him. Victor Lustig's criminal career was not limited to selling the Eiffel Tower. One of his most clever schemes was the Romanian box job. He created a steamer trunk with fake gears and levers that he claimed could duplicate money. Victor would show his victims the box working by using real bills hidden inside, convincing them it was real. He once sold this box to a Texas sheriff for thousands of dollars. When a sheriff discovered the scam, Victor managed to convince him he was using it wrong, buying himself time to escape. Another famous con involved the gangster Al Capone. Victor convinced Capone to invest in a fake business deal, securing tens of thousands of dollars in a safety deposit box. After several months, Victor told Capone the deal had fallen through and asked for a small amount to help him get by. Impressed by Victor's apparent honesty, Capone gave him the money, which Victor promptly kept. Throughout his career, Victor ran many smaller cons. He tricked tourists into investing in fake theatrical performances, performed sleight-of-hand robberies, and conned banks out of bonds. His success was largely due to his careful planning, charming personality, and ability to seem trustworthy. Victor Lustig, despite his intelligence and charm, couldn't escape the consequences of his actions forever. His eventual downfall was a mix of betrayal, overconfidence, and relentless law enforcement. Victor's downfall began with a betrayal by someone very close to him, his girlfriend. Over the years, Victor had maintained relationships despite his criminal lifestyle. His charm made him attractive, and he used this to his advantage in both his personal and professional life. However, his relationships were often as manipulative as his scams. His girlfriend, who had been loyal for a long time, discovered that Victor was cheating on her. Enraged and feeling betrayed herself, she decided to take revenge in the most damaging way possible. She contacted the police and gave them detailed information about Victor's activities, his aliases, and his whereabouts. Victor Lustig was arrested. However, Victor was not one to give up easily. He began to plot his escape almost immediately. While in jail awaiting trial, Victor faked an illness severe enough to be transferred to the infirmary. He used this opportunity to fashion a makeshift rope from bed sheets. In a daring move reminiscent of his audacious scams, Victor managed to escape from the infirmary by lowering himself down from a window. The escape was well executed and bought him some time, but it was ultimately short-lived. The authorities, now fully aware of Victor's cunning nature and desperate to recapture him. After a few weeks, his luck ran out and he was recaptured without incident. This time, there would be no escape. Victor Lustig was brought to trial. The evidence against him was overwhelming, and the stories of his scams captivated the public imagination. Victor was sentenced to 20 years in prison. During his prison time, he often regaled his fellow inmates with stories of his exploits, recounting his adventures with a mixture of pride and nostalgia. His cellmates, many of whom were hardened criminals themselves, listened with fascination to tales of how he had outwitted some of the most intelligent and powerful people in the world. As the years passed, the reality of prison life took its toll on Victor's health. He developed pneumonia, a serious condition given the limited medical care available in the prison. On March 11, 1947, Victor Lustig died in Alcatraz at the age of 57. Even in his final days, it's likely that he remained defiant, holding onto the stories of his incredible scams. Victor Lustig left behind a legacy and ensured that his name would be remembered long after his death. While his life was marked by deception and fraud, there was also a brilliance to his schemes that captured the imagination. Lustig's story serves as a reminder of the thin line between genius and criminality and the extraordinary lengths some will go to achieve their goals.